Well, welcome, World of Railways viewers. There's been an exciting announcement this afternoon, as you've probably heard. Hornby has launched itself into the market of TT, and here to tell us all about it is its Marketing and Development Director, Simon Kohler. Simon, welcome to World of Railways. Great to see you again.
Hi, Howard. How are you?
Very well, very well. Well,
Good.
as people are probably now aware, TT, after no doubt a few years of development, this has now come to light. Tell us all about this new range of TT in 1 to 120 scale.
Correct. Yeah, not to be confused with the 1 to 101.6, which was part of the trying range back in the 60s. Yeah, the idea first started to take shape way back in 2008, and I did put a plan together then and pitched it to my then chief exec, and not too surprising, I didn't really get past page one because obviously things were on the up and up. It was before the big financial crash and so on and so forth. But the idea and the belief that TT was a scale certainly worth investing in really stayed with me right the way through. And so during my sabbatical from Hornby, I did preach the gospel, and I spoke to numerous people. Ben Jones was certainly one of them, and several others in the trade. Wherever I could, I did say, for me, it was the scale. Nowadays, if people were reinventing or inventing model rails, if we hadn't had all this history behind us and it was a brand new thing, what would be the ideal scale? And as I said, TT is the one. And the idea of 1 to 120th was because in Europe, TT is very strong, and certainly in the German market. And I was tired and fed up of every time in the UK we come up with a scale, whether it's O or whether it's N, it's always at odds with the rest of the world. Mm. And I thought, in this day and age, that shouldn't really happen, because we all wax lyrical, we all go on about how wonderful our models are in O and all the rest of it, and we all blindly ignore the fact that actually they're wrong. Mm. So for me, TT is an ideal scale. It's an ideal scale because it can be uniform, and I can sell it, and I have to look at it this way in Europe, US, etc. So it's worldwide scale. And two, it's of a size that is small enough to be small enough for a layout of a reasonable size to be produced. Something like 4'6" by 3'6", you can get a nice little layout in there. But it's still of a size that's easy to handle as well. Hmm. So that was really in my thinking all the time, and has been for a good number of years. On my return to Hornby, that was part of our initial development plan, and Lyndon Davis was on board because I discussed it with him even before there was talk of us returning to Hornby. So he was on board, and really 2017 is when it started, and we started planning and thinking about it way back then. And the idea is, if you're going to do it, you do it. Mm. You don't nibble around the edges. If you look at the history of Hornby, as in Liverpool Hornby in tin plate, in O, look at Triang, you look at Scale Extreme, they're system products. You're not just producing something and hoping somebody else, it'll fit on somebody else's track, which you can't do with TT, because up to a little while ago, didn't really exist, certainly in this country. Mm. So if you're going to do it, you do it. Now, you can dip your toe in the water. We haven't done that. We've dived straight in, and not even, the water's probably freezing cold. But I tell you what, by the time I swim to the other end, it'll have warmed up. So
I mean,
we've
you say
started.
it's freezing cold, but there are many modelers on RM Web, our forum, and I've seen increasingly there are more and more that have certainly warming up to the ideas of TT, and either they're going up from N because N was the smallest scale that they could fit in a reasonably sized space, or going down from 00 because you can just achieve more in the scale. I mean, it is like you say, a perfect scale. In fact, I've got an example here from your Arnold range of a ferry wagon, which is, and it's very tactile as a scale. It's not as small as N gauge, and so you've got a little bit more detail, I feel, around models. I think it's a great way to open up the scale to new modelers. So how are you going to go about doing that? Because you've got this new club that you've launched
with the 00 market, and everybody's feeling that. The right subject matter which will give you a return on investment, and at the end of the day you need to have a return on investment. That gene pool is getting smaller and smaller, and so we're all scratching around with TT. Not only can you create an accurate scale and an accurate model, you have that it's of a size which will fit into a child's bedroom, will able to get a decent layout, a 4'6" by 3'6", whatever that is in metric. And I was only talking to somebody yesterday who has moved to a bungalow, has had to get rid of all his 00 product because he hasn't got the room, and he's actually started looking at TT, which really ticks one of the boxes as to why we've got invested as much as we have in TT. So with regards, sorry, what was the question?
He was on a roll. I wasn't going to stop you. I thought he knows what he's talking about here. No, so the TT 1 to 120 club, which is obviously your method of getting into contact with modelers who are interested in TT and keeping that engagement going.
So how?
Tell us a little bit about it. What does it offer?
Right. Yeah. So how are we going to do this? It's a fresh approach. It's a fresh scale. It's a fresh approach, and we have to tackle things differently. It's a different world than it was in the 50s, 60s, 70s. We all know what's happened since COVID, and we all know the strength of what social media is all about.
Right.
And with this new brand, we have to take control. We have to be in a position where we know where we're going to launch it. We know how we're going to launch it. We know who we want to talk to. We want to talk directly to them. And by doing, using our facilities with social media, by utilizing national newspaper press, like Mail on Sunday, Mail on Saturday, etc., we can produce great ads in those which will talk directly to the user, the end user, or the person we want to get involved. And that's the reason why we will only be selling initially anyway, online and direct. And that's why we can produce a club and have a TT club, which will offer discounts on products online. So we're not affecting anybody, we're not upsetting any retailers, etc. But we're tackling it in a 21st century way. And that to us at the moment, where TT is concerned, is the correct way to get this product out there and to get it noticed. Now, we can continually talking to the existing modeler, which is great, and we will do, and I'm happy to, because that, at the end of the day, is bread and butter. But that particular market, by its very nature, is shrinking. We're not attracting people in. Goodness knows, we're now producing locos over £200. Now, there aren't too many people who are thinking, oh, I'm thinking about doing model railways. I wonder how much a loco is. £200? You must be having a laugh. So it's that sort of thing. You have to be very, we have to be very conscious of that, but we're not bringing people in.
Yeah.
So TT and the way we're able to market it and talk directly to these people is the key to getting new people into the hobby, getting interest. The key thing, of course, is size. Now, I can get a reasonable layout, and I've just said 3'6" by 4'6". It could be a narrow shelf that fits on a window ledge, and you can get a lovely little end-to-end on that.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of thing, it's not becoming dominant. Houses are smaller, they are smaller. But even in a reasonable house built in the 30s, having a 6x4 board in the house don't really work, not unless you've got a spare bedroom. Don't know about you, but I know if I said to my wife, I'd like to put 6x4 in that third bedroom, is there a chance? And she would say, no, try the garage. So that's why they end up in the garage. I don't want to be in the garage in the winter. It's damn cold. In the summer, I want to be outside digging the garden or whatever. I'm not using it. We're not getting people to use it and enjoy it. The other thing is, I want to break the stereotype. You ask anybody, it did start off when I first came here. It's a what do they call it? A boy's toy. He's not, this is for everyone. We live in a multicultural society now, and we need to cater for all that. Why would I want to ignore 50% of the market? I don't. I want families involved. I want this to be some form of family entertainment. I want people to get involved with it. And you can do with a reasonable size layout, which can be slipped under a bed or put behind a wardrobe without being dominant, And that's really, well, I've seen jigsaws bigger than 4'6" and 3'6", and people find a place for those. So, sorry, I'm getting really excited about this.
I think
it really is a great opportunity for the hobby, and everybody should really get on board. We need to encourage people to get into it. It's a great hobby. It's a fabulous hobby. No other hobby I know that can teach you so much and have fun doing it.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about. We need more people in, fresh thinking, fresh ideas. And if TT, and I tell you what, as I say, model rails hadn't been invented, I swear TT would be the ideal scale. We're just a little bit behind the times.
So as you can see, Simon's passionate about it. It's a sizable investment, this, isn't it, for Hornby? Many items that are arriving on the market. Now, some modelers might think, well, does this mean that the traditional Hornby releases are going to be put on the back foot a little bit? What would you say to them?
I would say, no, you're wrong. Obviously, we've been working on this for some time. We have increased the engineering capacity and the design capacity here to take into account TT. We have not backed off with investment in Hornby 00. That is a core product. It still exists, and there's still a big market there for it. But it is not the be-all and end-all. And as I've said, TT gives us an opportunity to explore new areas and to really, I keep saying, attracting more people into the hobby.
Well, it looks a fantastic range. You'll be able to read the full story of what is being produced on World of Railways. Simon, it's been great having a chat with you today. I can't wait to see the public's reaction for this range, and we'll be following all the layouts which hopefully come out of this this new range.
Well, I think you will. You can't wait. I've been working on this, as I said, since 2008, so I'm not sure I'm going to be sleeping too well. Because obviously, people watching this must be aware that we've had this interview before the actual launch. So I'm really excited. What I will say is, join the club. Cost you nothing up until the end of January. Join the club and download the catalogue. You'll see exactly what we're doing, and that is the tip of the iceberg. There's a huge amount of time, money, and effort has gone into this project. It will be a success. It will attract more people into the hobby. It can do nothing but good. There will be naysayers out there and all the rest of it. I know that. That's the world we're in. But cut through all that and you'll see what we're saying, what we're offering is the right direction.
There you go. Simon, many thanks for your time.
All right. Sorry to go on. All right, then. You take care.
Cheers.